guys, Camille here, founder and CEO of Positivity Platform. I am so excited to be going live for you guys or doing this video, however you are watching it today, to chat about how is the most effective way to store and cook your freezer meals. This is the last step of your freezer meal adventure, and it's the simplest step, I think, and the most effective and rewarding step, because once you've hit this phase in your freezer meal adventure, you are ready to be done. Like, it's the wrap-up part. It's all your hard work has paid off, and you can benefit from the time and energy you have put into it. So when it comes to storing your freezer meals, I highly suggest just using freezer meal gallon bags. Some recipes are going to call for those aluminum tin, whatever you want to call them, pans that some people make turkeys in. You can get them at the dollar store, you can get them at almost every grocery store, and then they have the plastic lids that you put on top. Those are really hard to store more than like 2 of in a normal freezer. If you have a chest freezer or a stand-up freezer, they're a little bit easier, but I still don't like them because you can't stack them. And if you do, you risk smushing what's in there, and they take up a lot of room. Whereas if you have the gallon freezer meal bags, they're about this big, and you can stack them on top of each other once you get all the air out of them, because you don't want to freeze your freezer meals with air in them, because otherwise they'll get the ice crystals on them. So once you compress all the air out of it, they lay flat, and you can see, because they're clear, you can see what is in them at a quick glance. So it's a space saver, it's a time saver, so you don't have to like lift out eight big aluminum things trying to find the one meal that you want. And it's just easier. I promise you, it's just easier. I did the aluminum ones the first time I did my freezer meals, and it was just a disaster by the end. And so I want to tell you guys that so that you can learn from the mistakes I have made. What else? There's more to that. So I just make sure your stuff is labeled and use gallon bags when it comes to storing. As far as tips for cooking it, a lot of them that you find are going to be quick, easy, throw in the crock pot meals as you head out the door for work, which is awesome. In the blog post, if you click over to the blog post, I share which crock pot we use, because we have one now from our wedding that turns off after a certain amount of time. I can set the timer for X amount of time, and then it turns to warm so that I don't overcook everything, but the food also isn't just sitting there getting cold while I'm out doing errands or at work or whatever it may be. So I highly suggest getting one of those, but some of them aren't going to be able to be made in the crock pot, and that's okay. You can still have a quick, easy dinner, I promise you that, but you got to plan a little bit more for those that aren't just throw in the crock pot. So a few tips that I have is make a menu. Figure out what days during the week you for sure are going to have freezer meals. That way you know what you have to take out of the freezer, whether so let's say I'm having 3 freezer meals and my meal prep day is Sunday. So, and I'm super busy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. So I'm going to pull out the meal for Monday, Sunday, so that it can thaw in the fridge. And then Monday, if that one needs to thaw and be cooked on the stovetop or in the oven, I'm going to pull that out Monday night before I go to bed. And so on. And that way you have a plan. You don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to worry about it, and you know what's coming up. Another great part about that is if I know I have 2 meals this week that are going to need rice or something to go with it, a carb to go with it, that can be made ahead of time, I will do that. So sometimes if we have 2 meals that need rice with them during the week, I will make a big batch of rice on Sundays when I prep my vegetables and stuff. So then that's done and in the fridge, and I don't have to time block for that. And so you're gonna find little things that work for you and your family or whoever you feed. Just embrace those. Figure out what works for you, but I highly suggest figuring out a menu so you know when you have to take stuff out if it does need to be cooked on the stovetop or in the oven and not in a crock pot. So those are my random things that I've learned from the freezer meals that I've made and the mistakes that I've learned from. So I hope you guys find that helpful. I hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to connect and help you in any way that I can. I will chat with you guys later.